Hey everyone, another big batch of pictures of upcoming sets were released fully publicly. These are for Ninjago Season 11. I'm going to go through all of them and mostly focus on just giving you my own personal opinions, my own personal thoughts and impressions based on these. And you can form your own thoughts and spend more time looking at the pictures if you want. Why not start with one of the big ones? This is the Land Bounty, so the land version of Destiny's Bounty with 1,178 pieces. It looks like it's going to cost 130 euro or $130 US. Usually those numbers are the same, so I'll just refer to dollars from now on because I'm from the US. This one comes with a bunch of figures: Jay, Nia, Kai, Cole, Sensei Wu, and then these fire desert snake things. The black one is called Char, the golden one is called Asphera or Asphera, and then there's a Pyro Slayer and a Pyro Destroyer. So they have two different head molds that they came up with for those. I'll get back to the figures in just a minute, but let's focus on the main build, which is, it's tearing me a little bit. Some of it I like, some of it I don't like. I don't like the wheels. I don't like the idea of turning Destiny's Bounty into a land vehicle. And I don't particularly like the separating off little flying skiff thing. A lot of this conceptually feels very forced to me. And I guess it's really the front wheels that I like the least on this build here. If those had been different, I think I would like the whole thing a lot better, because there are definitely some elements of this that I do like. The whole almost pirate Leviathan kind of feel. This is definitely going to be one that I'll need to get in my hands, get in front of me to really understand whether I like it or not. Here's another big one, Lloyd's Titan Mech. Wow, another big mech. This is roughly the size of the fire mech from the Ninjago movie, I believe. This comes with 876 pieces and should sell for $70 US, so a very generous price to part ratio there, and I think the price to volume of stuff ratio will be very, very good with this one as well. That build looks fantastic. They use a variety of different techniques and types of pieces, including some old Bionicle pieces in there, lots of system stuff, of course, Technic stuff, just a nice combination pulling from various sources, and it looks good. It's very complete, it's closed up, and I like how they've got this separating thing on the back, the flyer that comes off. I think that looks nice itself and is worthy of existing in and of itself. And I think that the mech looks good with it off. I might even like the mech better with that off. However, posability is going to be a big, big question mark. In that one picture, they make it look like you can pose it somewhat, but at the same time, it almost looks like it's getting ready to fall over. I don't have high hopes for posability for this, but as a display piece, oh yes, very much. This is nice. Now the figures here are Lloyd Zane F5. It's the moniker that they're using for the most powered up versions of him this time around. And then General Vex, who is an Ice Samurai, followed by a Blizzard Warrior, a Blizzard Swordmaster, and a Blizzard Archer. All of them are kind of like ice zombie samurai fighters. Also, we'll see this closer up later on, but there's a new piece for the spinner tornado cyclone thing for Zane in this set. This one here is called Lloyd's Journey. It comes with just 81 pieces, and it'll be probably a $15 set. It comes with Lloyd, the Blizzard Warrior, who is an Ice Samurai, and then the Three-Tailed Fox, who is a Spirit Fox. I don't know if it's going to be physical or more of a specter, supernatural manifestation, how that'll work out, but new mold there. And obviously, Lloyd is going off and is going to be splitting from the rest of the team through through a portion of this season. He's going off to the icy area while the others focus on the desert areas. So you're seeing just a little bit of the story here. This looks like a pretty nice set. I like the fox. I wish that you could move the tails around though. It's small. The whole set is small and simple. Would have been nice if the tower could have been a little bit taller, but I think the price to part ratio, price to volume of stuff ratio is all going to be just fine. You know, not fantastic, but pretty cool. And yeah, I like the new animal. It's always nice to get new animals in Lego form, even if they're not necessarily realistic. This one is drawn directly from Chinese mythology, which transferred to Korean mythology and also Japanese mythology. Next up, Cole's Dirt Bike. 212 pieces here, roughly $20 it should be. So perfect price to part ratio. Looks like the price to volume of stuff ratio will be okay as well. This one comes with Cole, Kai, and a Pyro Destroyer. Now, Ninjago has offered up many of these funky bikes, funky oversized bikes in the past, and I've kind of gotten tired of them. However, this one breaks from that trend for me personally. I feel like the designer probably started off thinking about a snowmobile sort of design and then just reversed it to put the tire in the back. I actually like the look of this. I like the stance of the bike itself, and as long as it rolls well on hard surfaces as well as textured ones, I think this will actually be potentially a pretty successful set. I like taking a closer look at one of these pyro snake things which they look like they're mummies as well. Lots and lots of ancient Egyptian inspiration here. He's got the Kopesh even. I get some Stargate vibes, also again pulling from the ancient Egyptian history and design. So if I've got any Stargate fans out there watching, Tekmate Jaffa. Sticking with the desert side of the story, here is Fire Fang, which comes with only 463 pieces for what looks like a fairly large box. I might just be seeing that wrong. This will retail for $45, it looks like, so the price to part ratio is right where you want it to be. Comes with Kai F5, so the powered up version of him, and then Asphira, the golden Pyro Destroyer, I think, and then it also has a Pyro Destroyer and a Pyro Slayer in this set. This one comes with one of the new Spinjitzu Cyclone pieces for Kai, and overall this set does not impress me. I like the figures, but the main build, the main thing that you're paying for, I don't like. I don't like the color scheme. I don't like the use of either one or two very, very simple just vinyl pieces for most of the hood of this Fire Cobra. I feel like those are going to look very, very cheap in person. All of these images are very highly doctored to make them look the best they possibly can. And I think that's just not going to look good in person. And I feel like it might not even play that well. I like the tail, the head build is probably pretty cool, and I like the throne, a little bit of Game of Thrones Iron Throne inspiration there. It's not necessarily the only place that they get inspiration from there, but it gives those kind of vibes. But again, the main thing that you pay for here, I personally don't like. Katana 4x4, 450 pieces for $50 US. All right, so this one comes with Kai, Nia F5, Char, the black pyro snake thing, Pyro Destroyer, and a Pyro Slayer. Figures, again, cool, very cool. And we also get one of the new spinner, the Cyclones, the Spinjitzu Tornadoes for Nia in this one. But the vehicle here, again, the main thing that you pay for just doesn't have me convinced. I feel like this comes out of Space Police 3. Would have been one of the bad guy mobiles from Space Police 3. Might even have the same designer, or maybe an intentional bit of throwback. But yeah, nothing about this works for me with the design of the vehicle. I don't like the canopy, though it's cool how those two clear pieces come together. I don't like the overall shape. I don't like the grill. I don't like the spinning thing on the front that you have to spin by hand. I don't like how the wheels just kind of sit there beneath the whole thing without a suggestion of suspension in between. Just, to me personally, nothing here looks good. I do think that the integration, at least, here's something positive, the integration of the spring-loaded shooters is probably pretty good here. But other than that, I feel like this needed some transformative feature, something to make it get taller or split or something, then it would have been more cool. But just as it is, this one's a meh from me, but I do like the figures a lot. Here's a closer look at the Pyro Slayer and Destroyer, so you can see the dual molded heads, which look very cool. That armor piece for the shoulders and a little bit of the chest looks very cool as well. Again, a lot of Stargate kind of feeling there. And you have the two different forms of heads. Next up, Shuricopter, portmanteau of shuriken and helicopter. This one's for Zane, comes with 361 pieces. I thought it was going to have more pieces than that. And will retail for $30 US, it looks like. I think the value will be pretty decent here. This one comes with Zane, of course, and then JF5, the upgraded, fully juiced up version of him, with also a spinner or cyclone thing for him. And then General Vex, it looks like it says, General Vex. So one of the leaders of the, not leader, but like sub-leaders of the Ice tribe, the Ice Samurai this time around. He's got his unique color scheme. Looks pretty cool. I like the vehicle. I like the helicopter here. I like its shaping. I like its aggressive stance. Looks like the spinner things around the blades around the sides will be able to spin up if you bring this down to the ground. It's got the two 6-stud shooters on the sides, which I think will work well for play if you hold the thing by the tail and then fire those off. And if you don't want to use them because you don't want to lose all those studs, then you don't have to. I think they still look good. The blades will spin up. I mean, it looks pretty cool to me. I like it. The helicopter itself, the design, its aggressive canting from front to back gives me a little bit of feeling of a futuristic design concept done by a Japanese designer almost a decade ago. I don't know if they actually pulled inspiration from that, but it's just kind of something that I think of that I've seen before. But yeah, this one gets 2 thumbs up from me from looking at it, but we'll have to see how it actually works out in person. Who knows? Maybe it'll just fall apart and be so flimsy that it'll be very annoying, but I think this is going to turn out pretty well. And then here's the other big set, and in fact, just barely the biggest or at least most complex set, Castle of the Forsaken Emperor. So this is the end game location for Lloyd's Journey. It comes with 1,218 pieces and will sell for $100. So good price to part ratio there, especially for a big set with a lot of figures. The figures are Lloyd F5, finally, Cole Akita, who wears the fox head, or at least a representation of it, fox pelt possibly. I don't know if she is in league with the fox or if she actually is the fox, or if she leads the fox, through telepathy or something. There's definitely a very direct connection between her and the fox from the Lloyd's Journey set. And then this comes with the Ice Emperor, General Vex, a Blizzard Sword Master, and a Blizzard Archer, and also the spinny thing for Lloyd. A lot of the pieces and a lot of the bulk in this set go towards making this ice dragon thing. Actually, John, it's a wyvern because it only has 2 legs. This ice dragon thing looks really cool to me. It has, it looks like it's supposed to be a reanimated ice zombie skeleton type thing, but it also has very mechanical notes to its design that take me back to good old classic Zoids just a little bit. I know I've made that reference previously, but I definitely see it here. And the thing is very large for a location-based and structure-based set. So that's interesting. But when you take that away and you look at just the structure, that looks pretty disappointing to me. Now, I like the throne, the Emperor's throne, and there's gonna be a little sliding feature, maybe a spinning feature in there. I don't know. I feel like this is going to be a little bit disappointing. I feel like it's going to be even smaller in person than it looks or than it appears in pictures. So I think the main value that you're going to get out of this set will be in the form of that dragon. Actually, it's a wyvern, I said, and the figures, which might not be that bad of a thing, but I really like to see a nice, big, solid location set, at least one in a wave of sets this large. And then finally, there are 4 of these Spinjitzu Slam sets as accessory add-ons on the side. So just the latest in the lineage of action-focused gimmicks. Not saying gimmick in a bad way for Ninjago. It's a little bit of a shame that they didn't hold on to the previous one, the most recent one, because that was really good that they used during Legacy. So here, the idea is that you have these specialized launchers that have at least a couple of special, a bare minimum of 1, but bare minimum of 2, but more likely more than that, specialized pieces so that when you hit the thing, it's going to spin and launch at the same time, which could work. You know, it could be cool, but I feel like it's a bit of a shame that they just, you know, didn't hold on to that last design that worked so well. What I don't like here, what I really don't like, is that they're fairly generic. You know, all of them just have that cone, and that's it. You know, they have their colors, but they don't have weapons. They don't have any customizability. So there's really not a lot that you can do here, and just having them in these launchers means that there's only one single action. You can't really affect what happens other than adjusting your speed of impact, the speed of the launch. So there's, I mean, you can angle the thing as well, but there's just less potential for skill game here and a lot less potential for customization game. Possibly you'll be able to add something between the launcher spiral bit, the black bit at the base, and the cone itself, but I don't know, we'll have to see. I do like the look of Zane's one here. I like the color scheme. And I mean, the switch of Zane, the temporary switch of Zane over to the silver color was not universally liked, but I think that for something that's super powered up like this, I mean, they kept a lot of the white in there, but then brought in some of the silver around its edges. And I also like the side build here with the training dummy, which looks pretty cool, and they give you a couple of additional things that you can fire off. So weapons that are intended to represent, you know, ninja stars, shurikens that can be fired off as alternates from the same launcher. So that, I think, is good. It's one of the better ones here. I just generally like the look, but I'm still a little bit skeptical about just how much long-term fun you can have with this system. Jay gets one, and this is the least interesting to me personally by far. I think Jay himself looks okay, not great in this form with that much silver. The launcher, I think, looks fine, but then the side build is just a launcher itself, basically a holder for a spring-loaded shooter, and it just seems very meh compared to the Zane one that we just saw that had multiple things that you could fire off. You know, this has just a spring-loaded shooter, you know, with some extra bolts. Yeah, definitely my least favorite of these 4 sets. It's interesting that they did bring it down to just 4 this time, because these don't seem to tend to sell all that well, especially these days. The last one here that we're looking at is the twofer. It's Kai versus Samurai, they call it. Comes with a Blizzard Warrior, and this one looks pretty cool. I like all the colors. I think the color scheme for Kai works out really well with the gold in there instead of the silver. And see, this also includes some builds for some additional things to fire off from the launcher. So it's not just a figure in a cone spinning like a top. You know, you have other things that you can do. So you can launch attacks. You can have one person or one side that launches the person into a spin, and then the other side attacks with these other things, which you can then customize. So that's good. That's fundamentally good. This will definitely have, you know, the highest play value of any of them, having 2 sides, but also having those additional things to fire off. Overall, I feel like this is a fairly strong body of work, with the figures definitely being my favorite things, especially the bad guy figures. I'm not the hugest fan myself of the design of the F5'd up ninja with the headgear that they came up with for them, but in context, when you actually put them onto a spinner slammer thing, I think it works out. But I'm mostly a fan of the bad guys, both sides, both the desert ones and the ice ones, and some of the builds here are really cool. A couple of them are a little lacking. That's it for my thoughts for now, though. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. I'll talk to you again as soon as I can.